Part 38. The space doctor became the favorite of the exiled powerful minister. Author, Fenyuan Kandi. Chapter 371. When Wu Xiaoyu mentioned Wei Hanzhou, there was a bright and moving luster in her eyebrows. Since a Zhou came to the tribe, she was able to talk to more people and learn about the outside world. A Zhou told her a lot about the outside world. He also told her about many delicacies that she had never eaten before. Of course, steamed buns and noodles are all made by Azhu. She had never eaten such delicious food before. Even now, Wu Xiaoyu's favorite food is noodles. Especially the noodles made by a Zhou. But then a Zhou was busy and had no time to make noodles, so she made them by herself and they were delicious. Zhang Ziluo looked at the sparkling look in Wu Xiaoyu's eyes and could tell that she liked her fourth brother very much. Zhang Ziluo saw that her fourth brother looked embarrassed again, and she understood clearly. Fourth brother should have a good impression of Wu Xiaoyu. It's just that fourth brother may not be able to say it out loud. Because fourth brother feels that he has responsibility and hatred on his shoulders. The affairs of the Wei family were like a stone weighing on his heart, preventing him from relaxing. Zhang Ziluo also felt a little sorry for her fourth brother. Sister Wu, if you want to talk, you can come and talk to me. I'm not familiar with other people in the tribe, but I like talking to Sister Wu. Wu Xiaoyu said happily, okay, then I can come find my sister when I have time. Can I still learn how to cook from my sister? Of course you can. If Sister Wu wants to learn, I will teach you. Wu Xiaoyu was even more happy when she heard this. Having finished making the dumplings, Zhang Ziluo looked at the time and saw that it was still early. It's still early, so I'm not in a hurry to cook the dumplings. You can make some glutinous rice and mugwort dumplings first. This can be used to make milk tea. Zhang Ziluo thought that after eating the dumplings, she could drink some milk tea. The main reason is to make milk tea for Wu Xiaoyu and fourth brother. I just happened to dig some mugwort. I dug some more wormwood, and I can make wormwood green dough. Wu Xiaoyu volunteered, I'm here to help. Zhang Ziluo thought that the method was simple anyway, so she told Wu Xiaoyu how to do it. Wu Xiaoyu started to take action. Fortunately, the tribe also has glutinous rice flour. She knew that the tribe had stone mills, and the rice and glutinous rice grown by everyone could be ground into powder. Wash the mugwort, boil until soft, then grind into mugwort juice, add glutinous rice flour and sugar and knead into small balls. There is also coconut meat and nakio cut into small pieces, so it is easy to put them in when making milk tea. Everything is ready and the sun is starting to set. The afterglow of the setting sun shone over the tribe, giving Tudor a moving halo. Zhang Ziluo began to boil water in a pot. Kui Hejin lights the fire, and after the pot boils, add the dumplings. This is how dumplings should be cooked. Zhang Ziluo nodded and said, yes, after putting it in the pot and cooking it, use a spoon to stir it back and forth, stir it gently, and don't let the dumplings stick to the pot. Pour water in this way and boil it 3 times. The dumplings will be round and floating on the water and they will be ready. This is Zhang Ziluo's own way of cooking dumplings. She thinks it tastes just right. Wu Xiaoyu nodded and remembered it carefully. Zhang Ziluo cooked 2 grates of dumplings. Put out a big plate for each person, and put the others into a basin. Put it in a large basin and let it cool down, then pull it out and put it away. Fry it in oil the next morning and you can eat it. Of course, fried dumplings are more delicious. And the oil used here is the oil from roasting pork belly. It happened to be packed in the jar fired by the tribe. When using, just scoop some out with a spoon. Wu Xiaoyu smelled the fragrance and said, it must be delicious. She couldn't wait to taste it. The space doctor became the favorite of the exiled powerful minister. Author, Fenyuan Kandi. Chapter 372. Wei Hanzhou looked at Wu Xiaoyu's happy and expectant look, and a smile appeared on his face involuntarily. Putting the plates of dumplings on the table, Zhang Ziluo mashed the garlic peeled by her fourth brother into minced garlic and added some sauce. Okay, it's ready to eat. You can eat it with this garlic paste. Wu Xiaoyu felt hungry. Try how it tastes. Fourth brother, you should also have a taste. Wei Hanzhou said, this reminds me of my childhood. It's been a long time since I've eaten dumplings. You said making chrysanthemum, but I was reminded of shepherd's purse dumplings. When I was a child in Weifu, they ate dumplings and never knew that shepherd's purse existed. One spring, people in the mansion went out for an outing. While others were playing, she took the maid and grandma to dig shepherd's purses. At that time, everyone said it was grass. But my sister insisted that it was a vegetable and could be made into dumplings. I have to say that after eating shepherd's purse dumplings that time, everyone thought they were very delicious, and they tasted different from dumplings made with other vegetables. This is so delicious. Wu Xiaoyu ate a dumpling and was stunned by the taste. She had a happy smile on her face. Wow, it's so delicious. I didn't expect the dumplings to be so delicious. Wu Xiaoyu didn't care about how hot it was and ate them one by one. Just like tasting delicious food. Zhang Ziluo was very happy to see that Wu Xiaoyu liked to eat dumplings and said, if you like dumplings, that's fine. Later I will go to the woods to see if there are any shepherd's purses. Dumplings made with shepherd's purse will be just as delicious. It just so happened that fourth brother also remembered the shepherd's purse dumplings from that time. She also wants to eat shepherd's purse dumplings. Wei Hanzhou said, I didn't expect that chrysanthemum can also be used to make dumplings. It's really delicious. When he was the Prince of Wei, he didn't know about chrysanthemum. But later I learned that many villagers like to cook chrysanthemum and eat it. He used to put some chrysanthemum when cooking meat, but it had no taste. But the dumplings are really fresh and delicious. After eating dumplings, Zhang Ziluo spooned dumpling soup for everyone. This soup is also delicious. It's just right to eat dumplings and drink dumpling soup. Sister Wu, if you like to eat dumplings, there are some. Wu Xiaoyu said, a large plate is just right. I'm full. Have a lot to eat. She thought that she would often make dumplings to eat in the future. They were so delicious. Moreover, Sister Zhang also told her that many vegetables can be used to make dumplings. Zhang Ziluo saw that everyone was very full, so she probably couldn't drink milk tea. She was thinking about making milk tea tomorrow. Oh, by the way, Sister Wu, remember to eat konjac tomorrow. The konjac tomorrow will be left to rest and can be cut and cooked. Zhang Ziluo plans to make cold dishes. Wu Xiaoyu said, I have to be busy in the cave during the day, so I can't come over for dinner until evening. She is the witch of the tribe and has to be busy with some things every day. Zhang Ziluo said, okay, come over and eat in the evening. Wu Xiaoyu didn't show any pretense, okay. Wei Hanzhou went back after having a full meal. He first went to gather the soldiers and told them that he would go to the forest tomorrow to cut mugwort and dig konjac. These are all foods. Everyone was very happy when they heard it was food. No one will doubt the leader's words. When the leader gives orders, they only need to obey. Zhang Ziluo and Kui Hejin also cleaned up and prepared to go to bed. However, Zhang Ziluo quietly entered the space and took a look. During the day, I learned about the space upgrade but never went into the space to take a look. Now I went into the space to take a look. To Zhang Ziluo's surprise, there were suddenly a lot of supplies in the space wooden house. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The space doctor became the favorite of the exiled powerful minister. Author, Fengyuan Candy. Chapter 373. Seeing the shelves in the wooden house filled with things, Zhang Ziluo was so excited that she couldn't believe it. She even suspected that she was hallucinating before her eyes. Is it really material? So much. Zhang's Hiluo reached out and touched it, and found that the bags on the shelf and the contents inside were all real. Especially in one corner, there are boxes placed. Sea salt, low sodium salt. It says something like this. Zhang's Hiluo quickly opened the box and found that the box was all filled with salt. The sight of bags of salt is exciting. It happens that the tribe is most short of salt. If we take out these boxes of salt, it will be enough for the tribe to eat for a year or two. So looking at these salts, how could Zhang's Hiluo not be excited? There are also a lot of potatoes and sweet potatoes. These are high-yielding crops. Crops produced in space have strong adaptability to the environment and have high yields when grown in fields. There are also many vegetables, including green peppers, capsicums, lukva, winter melon and other vegetables. There are not only seeds, but also so many vegetables. Go back to the mountains and forests and take out these vegetables. You can say that you have picked all the vegetables you found outside. It's just that salt is hard to explain. Or maybe it was discovered suddenly in a certain cave. Maybe someone lived in that cave and stored a batch of salt before. Zhang's Hiluo thinks this method is good. There are also some medicinal materials, packed in boxes one by one. Zhang's Hiluo opened the boxes and looked at the medicinal materials. Zhang's Hiluo was so excited when she saw that several of the ingredients were medicinal herbs used to treat fourth brother's body. She couldn't believe it. It's better now with these medicinal materials, I can cure my fourth brother's health. Zhang's Hiluo was the most excited when she saw the medicinal materials. Xiaolan, it turns out that the space upgrade has added so many things at once. Xiaolan also flew back and forth around Zhang's Hiluo excitedly and said, Master has saved many people and helped many people. Master has accumulated merit, so these things suddenly appeared. The space felt that the owner needed salt and supplies, so it appeared. Zhang's Hiluo touched the feathers on Xiaolan's body, feeling very happy anyway. Zhang's Hiluo came out of the house and saw the fields in the space, and 2 acres of fields were directly added. And the previous pool suddenly turned into a spiritual spring stream. Although it is only a small stream, there is a lot of spiritual spring water. Zhang's Hiluo plans to pour the spiritual spring water into some pools outside tomorrow. The tribe members boiled water and drank from the water pool. If added with spiritual spring water, it can strengthen the body. It is not easy to get sick and cold after drinking Lingquan water. And the rice cooked with water containing spiritual spring water tastes particularly fragrant. Zhang's Hiluo was about to plant something on the field when she heard Kui Hejin's voice. Hiluo. Zhang's Hiluo heard Kui Hejin's voice and quickly came out of the space. Then he saw Kui Hejin in front of him. You. Kui Hejin didn't see Zhang's Hiluo just now, so she was very worried and anxious. At this time, seeing Zhang's Hiluo suddenly appear, I was shocked. Realizing something, he nervously grabbed Zhang's Hiluo's wrist. Hiluo, what happened to you just now, are you okay? Kui Hejin's voice was trembling, and he looked at Zhang's Hiluo nervously. At this moment, Kui Hejin looked at her without blinking, even holding his breath. Only he knows best in his heart how afraid he is. Zhang's Hiluo never expected to be exposed like this all of a sudden. End of chapter. The space doctor became the favorite of the exiled powerful minister. Author, Fenyuan Kandi. Chapter 374. Kui Hejin looked at Zhang's Hiluo and checked her up and down carefully, fearing that she was injured somewhere. Facing Kui Hejin's nervous and red eyes, Zhang's Hiluo knew that she could no longer hide or lie at this time. She was reluctant to lie to him. Don't worry, don't be nervous, I'm fine. Let's sit down first and I'll explain it to you. Kui Hejin held Zhang's Hiluo's hand tightly and sat down next to her to explain. It's like this, I have a space, and the space is equivalent to a place in another world, with a wooden house and a field. It is equivalent to a storage space I can enter and exit according to my thoughts. I am the master of the space and I have the final say, so there will be no danger. Really, you believe me? Kui Hejin listened to Zhang Ziluo slowly explaining the space, and she probably understood what was going on. He also knows that there are some mysterious things in this world that cannot be explained by knowledge. He has also read some books on foreign affairs, which are indeed mysterious and mysterious. Didn't expect that his wife would have such a thing as space. Zhang Ziluo thought for a while, used her thoughts, and suddenly had a bag of salt in her hand. Look, this is salt. I can put it back into space again. As she spoke, Zhang Ziluo thought, and the salt was put back into the space again. I'll try to see if I can take you to space with me. Speaking, Zhang Ziluo took Kui Hejin's hand and tried to take him into the space, but it was no use. She shook her head and said, it seems that only I can enter the space, and I can't take you in. So Kui Hejin understood what was going on, and he breathed a sigh of relief and said, it's good that you're fine. Speaking, Kui Hejin picked Zhang Ziluo into his arms and held her tightly. Zhang Ziluo told Kui Hejin in detail about space, the materials in space, and the fields in space. So potatoes are also space food. Yes, I have not found such high-yielding crops outside, only in space. So take it out and plant it. Now there are another shelf of potatoes in the space. It may not be enough for everyone to eat, but it can be taken out for everyone to plant. It's not too cold here in winter, so you can plant directly. There are also some vegetables that can be grown on the cultivated fields, so that everyone can have a lot of vegetables to eat. With more food sources, fourth brother will be more relaxed. There is also this medicinal material. As he spoke, Zhang Ziluo moved her palms. There were several more boxes on the table in front of her, containing precious medicinal materials. Zhang Ziluo took out all the medicinal materials needed for some prescriptions. I just made the medicine and sent it to my fourth brother. If I drink the medicine according to this prescription, my fourth brother will be fine in a month. The medicinal materials in the space are more effective because they are nourished by spiritual energy. This way, fourth brother can use all his inner strength without being restricted by his body. Thinking of this, Zhang Ziluo was very happy. She didn't care about sleeping and went straight to make medicine. Kui Hejin couldn't bear to let her be tired. If you are tired, go and rest, and I will make the medicine. Zhang Ziluo shook her head and said, it's okay, I'm not tired now. After the medicine was boiled, Zhang Ziluo looked at the oil lamp in the wooden house next to it, and Zhang Ziluo went directly with the medicine. She suddenly thought that there were many candles in the space, which could be used by her fourth brother. End of chapter. The space doctor became the favorite of the exiled powerful minister. Author, Fenyuan Kandi. Chapter 375. Thinking about it, Zhang Ziluo took out a lot of candles and put them in the basket, then took the medicine and entered the fourth brother's house. Fourth brother. Wei Hanzhou was reading a book when he heard his sister's voice and hurriedly got up and opened the door. Younger sister. Wei Hanzhou was just wondering when he smelled the smell of medicine. Just keep busy tomorrow, you should go to bed early. Looking at his sister being tired, Wei Hanzhou felt heartbroken. He felt that bringing his sister to the tribe would keep her busy. He originally just wanted his sister to come and play, thinking that he could protect her here. Zhang Ziluo said, it's okay, it's still early, and I can't sleep when I go back. Fourth brother, when I went out today, I also dug up some medicinal materials, and I happen to have some medicinal materials to treat your body. Now that the medicinal ingredients are all together, you can drink the medicine according to the formula. Your body will be well in a month, and you can use all your internal strength. Hearing these words, Wei Hanzhou couldn't believe it at first. I can't believe that his body can recover so quickly and his internal strength can be restored. Looking at his sister's determined expression, Wei Hanzhou naturally believed it. During this period of time, after being nursed back to health by his sister, his health has gotten much better, and he can feel it himself. I can sleep well at night and feel energetic during the day. Sister, fourth brother, Wei Hanzhou didn't even know how to talk to his sister. It would be too foreign to say thank you. Fourth brother, don't say anything else to me. If you drink it, you will be well. This is the greatest thank you to me. Wei Hanzhou's eyes were red and he drank the medicine in one breath. Zhang Ziluo then handed the basket in her hand to Wei Hanzhou and said, "Fourth brother, this is a candle." Wei Hanzhou was shocked when he saw it. Are there so many candles? Looks like there are more than 20 of them. In fact, Wei Hanzhou is a little reluctant to light an oil lamp at night on weekdays. But he goes to bed late at night. If he doesn't read a book, he may not be able to sleep. So he will get used to reading a book at night. Originally, he wanted to practice martial arts. He didn't need to light an oil lamp to practice martial arts at night. But his physical condition prevented him from using much force. So Wei Hanzhou chose to read. But his sister said that he would be well in a month, and Wei Hanzhou believed it completely. Yes, it's all for fourth brother. You don't need to be frugal. I picked this up in the mountains and forests on my way out of the desert. I didn't spend any money, so fourth brother can use it without any worries. Only by saying this, she felt that the fourth brother would probably be willing to use these candles. After talking to her fourth brother, Zhang Ziluo went back to the house and slept with Kui Hejin. Now that the two of them have been sleeping in the same bed for such a long time, Zhang Ziluo is used to sleeping in Kui Hejin's arms. As soon as she lay down on the bed, she naturally turned over and leaned into Kui Hejin's arms. Kui Hejin also hugged her naturally. Looking at her tired look, Kui Hejin gently stroked her hair and said, "Be good, go to sleep." Zhang Ziluo nodded. After a good night's sleep, the next morning, after the two of them washed up, Kui Hejin was responsible for lighting the fire, and Zhang Ziluo began to fry the dumplings. The aroma of fried dumplings soon spreads out. Zhang Ziluo felt happy looking at the golden and crispy fried dumplings. When the frying was done, Zhang Ziluo sent 2 large plates to fourth brother and said, "Fourth brother, 1 plate is for Sister Wu, please send it to me. I happen to be hungry. I'll go back to eat with Hejin first." With that said, Zhang Ziluo hurried back. "So I deliberately asked my fourth brother to deliver food to Sister Wu. Lest the fourth brother become like a piece of wood." Wei Hanzhou was silent and his expression moved. He picked up the plate of dumplings, put it in the basket, covered it with clean gauze, and then walked towards Wu Xiaoyu cave. End of chapter. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The space doctor became the favorite of the exiled powerful minister. Author, Fenyuan Kandi. Chapter 376. Zhang Ziluo and Kui Hejin went back and started eating fried dumplings. Eating the fried dumplings, Zhang Ziluo sighed, "The fried dumplings are still delicious. It reminds me of the time in Donghe village. At that time, the family made dumplings, and they also liked to make more dumplings and fry them in oil the next day to make them crispy and delicious." Zhang Ziluo uses oil to fry the dumplings. She likes to add more oil and stir the dumplings back and forth to make each side of the dumplings crispy and golden. This way it tastes fragrant and crispy. Tasty. Zhang Ziluo likes to eat dumplings with this texture. Actually, chrysanthemum tastes good. Kui Hejin saw Zhang Ziluo eating happily, and a smile appeared on his face. 2 large plates of dumplings were fried, and both Zhang Ziluo and Kui Hejin ate them. After eating, Zhang Ziluo stretched out her hands and sighed, "It smells so good. I also want to eat dumplings." Kui Hejin said, "Then let's make dumplings tonight." Zhang Ziluo shook her head and said, Tonight we will eat konjac. Let's go out for a walk first. When we come back, we can find opportunities to take out the supplies in the space. Even though Kui Hejin didn't know what Zhang Ziluo's space looked like specifically, she understood it. Seeing his complete acceptance, Zhang Ziluo couldn't help but ask, "Aren't you afraid that I'm a monster?" Kui Hejin said seriously, "I only know that you are my wife. Don't tell me that you are not a monster. Even if you are, it doesn't matter." In any case, Kui Hejin doesn't mind or care about this. What he cares about is the person in front of him. Zhang Ziluo raised her head and met Kui Hejin's eyes, and smiled softly, knowing that he was serious. Zhang Ziluo and Kui Hejin went out for a walk in the mountains and forests. After breakfast, Wei Hanzhou organized a large number of warriors from the tribe, asked them to carry backpacks and tools, and took them to dig konjac where his sister said. Having lived in this place for many years, Wei Hanzhou already had a detailed map in his mind even if he didn't make the map himself. Sister simply told me the direction and location, and Wei Hanzhou knew where he was. Wei Hanzhou and his soldiers soon arrived at the place where konjac was. The stuff growing underground on these plants is food. It's called konjac. Let's dig up some and bring it back. I will teach you how to do it when the time comes. Yesterday, his sister gave him a detailed explanation. When he gets back, he can tell everyone how to make konjac. Everyone was very happy when they heard about the food. They quickly took out their tools and started digging in earnest. There really is something, such a big thing, and it's actually food. Such a large area, our tribe has food again. When everyone thought that this large area was full of food that could be cooked and eaten, they felt particularly energetic and motivated to dig konjac. Wei Hanzhou was shocked when he saw such a big konjac dug out of the ground. It feels really different to see the food being dug out with your own eyes. Zhang Ziluo and Kui Hejin had already wandered around this area yesterday. So Zhang Ziluo and Kui Hejin went to wander in another direction. With Xiaolan guiding the way, Zhang Ziluo actually saw some shepherd's purse in the field. This is shepherd's purse. Zhang Ziluo took the tools and started digging shepherd's purse. This time she doesn't need to put it in the backpack, she just puts it in the space. Even the shepherd's purses dug by Kui Hejin and Zhang Ziluo received them all in the space. Now you can make shepherd's purse dumplings. Digging for wild vegetables, Xiaolan said excitedly, "Master, there are soybeans, a lot of soybeans." "You mean around here?" Zhang Ziluo's space has grown some soybeans before, in order to make tempeh and chili meat sauce easier to eat. End of chapter. The space doctor became the favorite of the exiled powerful minister. Author, Fenyuan Kandi. Chapter 377. The soybeans in space are mainly made into tempeh and chili meat sauce, so there are not many soybeans in space now. But it would be nice if there were soybeans outside. Master, through the misty forest in front, you will find another valley. There are many soybeans growing in the fields. Misty forest? Zhang Ziluo pulled Kui Hejin forward and took a look ahead. She originally thought it would be a miasma forest, but no, it was just a mist forest. Kui Hejin said, "Ziluo, fourth brother told me not to go near the mist forest in the north of the mountain forest. No one who went in has ever come out. Zhang Ziluo actually doesn't worry about this, just go in and take a look. And she has space and wood abilities." However, thinking of Kui Hejin's safety, Zhang Ziluo still worried. She asked, "Xiaolan, is there any danger in the mist forest?" "Master, there is no danger, it's just that there is a strange flower in the mist forest, which can emit mist and eat people, and can also cause hallucinations, but as long as you avoid these flowers, there is no danger." Hearing what Xiaolan said, Zhang Ziluo felt relieved. She took out 2 pills from the space, handed them to Kui Hejin and said, "Take this and you'll be fine. Whether the mist has a psychedelic effect or there are strange flowers, they will not be affected." Kui Hejin naturally had no doubts about what Zhang Ziluo brought out. He took the pill without hesitation. After eating, the two of them walked into the mist. Although they smelled a thick aroma in the air and knew that the aroma was strange, Zhang Ziluo and Kui Hejin were not affected. However, Kui Hejin was still worried. He held Zhang Ziluo's hand tightly all the way. The two people walked through the foggy forest and saw a large field of soybeans. This large area has hundreds of acres of land. Perhaps because no one was picking them, the soybeans fell to the ground when they were ripe. Kui Hejin was also shocked. These are actually soybeans. Kui Hejin knew that the tempeh made by Ziluo was made from soybeans, and then the tempeh was used to make chili meat sauce. And soybeans can be used to make tofu and soy milk. Ziluo had previously ground soy milk at home for them to drink, and it tasted very fragrant. To this day, Kui Hejin still remembers that smell. But what the tribe lacks most is food. With these soybeans, everyone in the tribe can store a lot of food. It won't be a problem even if you don't hunt for half a year. In this way, Wei Hanzhou does not have to take everyone to hunt and collect food frequently. He can save labor and take everyone to train in the tribe. Zhang Ziluo is also very happy. With the space supplies and these soybeans, the tribe can be supported for a long time, and the fourth brother can feel much more relaxed. And these soybeans grow here all year round, and there are many soybean seeds left on the ground after everyone harvests the soybeans. Many more soybeans will grow in the second year. It's just that the fog does affect everyone's picking of soybeans. We can get rid of those strange flowers and the fog will disappear. Zhang Ziluo is an activist who does what she says. I directly used the wood ability to get rid of all those strange flowers. Zhang Ziluo also collected a lot of soybeans into the space. There happens to be a stone mill in the tribe. We usually use stone mills to grind wheat, but now we can use stone mills to grind soybeans. Wheat flour and soybean flour can also be mixed together to make steamed buns. But the most important thing is that you can eat tofu. Making tofu requires salt brine, which is also available in the supplies in her space. And tofu is delicious. It can be made into soups or dishes, and it is also very good for the body. End of chapter. The space doctor became the favorite of the exiled powerful minister. Author, Fenyuan Candy. Chapter 378. Zhang Ziluo looked at the soybeans and was very happy when she thought that she could make tofu. Over there in Donghe village, tofu is the most popular thing. The main reason is that tofu is not expensive. If you buy just a little, you can make a dish, and tofu is also nutritious. It is delicious whether it is cooking or making soup. Zhang Ziluo hasn't eaten tofu or drank soy milk for a long time. You can use these soybeans to go back to the mill and grind them with a stone mill. The tribe built a special mill with several stone mills in it to facilitate the tribe's people to grind flour or other things. There is also a small farm in the tribe, which raises donkeys, cattle, and pigs. Pigs are easy to eat, oxen are used to plow the land, and donkeys are used to pull mills. This is very convenient and can save labor. After getting some soybeans, Zhang Ziluo and Kui Hejin went to find some lime. These are quick lime, which can be used to make tofu stew after being roasted with charcoal. Although he doesn't know what lime stew is, Kui Hejin understands that with this, soybeans can truly be made into tofu. After finding something, the two people went back. After returning to the wooden house, the two people put the shepherd's purse in the yard, and then took some soybeans and soaked them in a water tank. After it's soaked, you can grind it with a stone mill. You can make soy milk and drink it, and you can make tofu by marinating it. As Zhang Ziluo said this, she was looking forward to eating tofu. She went to look at the konjac that had been left undisturbed last night. He hibiscus, look, these konjac have solidified and become konjac tofu. Zhang Ziluo now likes to tell Kui Hejin what kind of food she makes and share her joy. What needs to be done next? Bring the knife and cut it. Kui Hejin went into the room, took out a knife, and cut the konjac from the basin as Zhang Ziluo said. Zhang Ziluo looked at the konjac tofu shaking gently in her hand. It feels like jelly. And it's similar to fairy tofu. It sways back and forth like jelly in your hand. Zhang Ziluo put pieces like this in the basin. Then start cutting it into strips or chunks. Then prepare other seasonings and garnishes. Let's make all konjac dishes like this: a braised konjac shredded dish, a stir-fried konjac shredded meat dish, cold konjac dish, and hot and sour konjac strips. Zhang Ziluo cooks, and Kui Hejin helps to light the fire. Of course there are two pots, and the other pot is used to steam the rice. In the tribe, everyone mainly eats rice. Mainly in the forest, everyone grows rice, and it is convenient to eat rice. It doesn't have to be ground into wheat flour before it can be eaten like wheat. Rinse the rice and cook it directly in the pot. Zhang Ziluo thinks that eating such a dish should be eaten with rice. It's faster for two people to cook together. But the meal is ready and it's almost evening. Zhang Ziluo looked outside and said, "Fourth brother hasn't come back yet." Kui Hejin said, "Fourth brother took the soldiers to dig konjac today. There are so many konjacs, and we may not come back until dark." Zhang Ziluo nodded and said, "Then let's eat first, put some vegetables and rice in the pot for fourth brother, and we can eat it while it's hot when he comes back." After working all day, Zhang Ziluo and Kui Hejin simply ate some dry food at noon. Maybe she has a lot of work to do, and Zhang Ziluo feels hungry now. Good. Kui Hejin was also afraid that Zhang Ziluo would be hungry. His Ziluo's eating habit is to order 3 meals a day according to the time. The two of them sat down to eat, eating konjac vegetables with rice. It tastes really good, refreshing, delicious and crispy and fluffy. The taste of konjac is really different from other foods. Just eating rice is very satisfying. End of chapter. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The space doctor became the favorite of the exiled powerful minister. Author, Feng Yuan Candy. Chapter 379. Zhang Ziluo looked at Kui Hejin and said, "How is it? Does it taste good?" "Yeah, very good." Seeing Ziluo by his side and eating her delicious food, Kui Hejin felt a sense of peace and security in his heart. Just like in Donghe village. The climate here is indeed warm. Even in the 12th lunar month, the weather is not that cold. The quilts they cover themselves with at night are still thin quilts. The two of them were very full at this meal. After eating, Zhang Ziluo went to the yard to clean the shepherd's purse. "We can make dumplings with shepherd's purse and eat them tomorrow. It just so happened that my fourth brother also mentioned it when we were eating dumplings yesterday. It will be the Chinese New Year in more than 10 days. I don't know if the Chinese New Year will be celebrated here or if firecrackers will be set off." Speaking of this, Zhang Ziluo almost wanted to go back to Donghe village. But she also knew that she would not be able to reach Donghe village at this time. Zhang Ziluo knew that celebrating the New Year in Donghe village would be very festive. Kui Hejin said, "There are no customs like those in the Yun kingdom here. On the New Year's Day here, the tribe will perform sacrifices to worship the tribal gods and bless the tribe." Zhang Ziluo blinked, looked at Kui Hejin curiously and said, "Why don't I know? You may not pay attention to these on weekdays." Kui Hejin also helped people in the tribe once, and he remembered it after hearing someone mention it. So the Chinese New Year celebrations in our hometown still have a Chinese New Year flavor. You can buy New Year's goods, cook a lot of delicious food, and pay New Year greetings in the first month. You can also set off firecrackers. Zhang Ziluo likes that kind of atmosphere. And she also missed her parents and younger brothers and sisters in Xingshan village. I don't know how they are doing now. Although she now knows who her parents are, to her, Zhang Xiangchuan and Ye are also her parents. She also misses her younger brothers and sisters. Yu Qi Xianxian is very well behaved. Listening to Zhang Ziluo's words, Kui Hejin could tell what she was thinking. Do you want to go home? Zhang Ziluo nodded and said, yes, I want to go home. The reason why we are here with the tribe is because we are worried about our fourth brother. Now that we have found medicinal materials in the space, we can boil the medicine and give it to the fourth brother to drink, then the fourth brother's body will be fine. Then we need to prepare the materials in the space for fourth brother, which is enough for everyone in the tribe to use temporarily. There are still those foods, and if you get some potatoes and sweet potato seeds, you don't have to worry about this. Salt is now available, and so are the seeds for high-yielding crops. Furthermore, I helped my fourth brother discover a large area of soybeans. Coconut konjac, these are also foods. Think about it carefully, we still need iron ore. Let's look for iron ore later. While Zhang Ziluo and Kui Hejin were talking, they heard the lively noise outside. As soon as she heard the sound, Zhang Ziluo knew that her fourth brother was back. Fourth brother is back. I'll go out and take a look. Kui Hejin went out with Zhang Ziluo to watch. Sure enough, we saw more than 200 people, each of whom had a basket full of konjac. Many people also carried carrying poles. On both sides of the pole are two baskets, both containing konjac. The people in the tribe knew that these were food, and they all cheered when they saw the warriors returning home loaded with food. So much food. It turns out this is konjac. This is the food the princess helped us find. The princess should also be a person given to our tribe by the tribal god. The princess helped us find a lot of food. Our leader is powerful, and so is the princess. Everyone was very excited when they saw so many konjac. Of course, everyone is simple-minded, and they all know how to be grateful and grateful. End of chapter. The space doctor became the favorite of the exiled powerful minister. Author, Fenyuan Candy. Chapter 380. Food is really exciting and joyful. While digging konjac, Wei Hanzhou taught everyone how to make konjac, which was what his sister told him yesterday. So now the soldiers also know how to make konjac tofu and how to cook. Wei Hanzhou said to the warrior Kang Yi, take the warriors and give a share of these konjac to everyone in the tribe, and then tell everyone how to do it. Yes, chief. Kang Yi was very excited, thinking that he could eat konjac when it was ready. This is fresh food, and they can't wait to taste it. Kang Yi took everyone to work. Wei Hanzhou walked towards his sister and Kui Hejin and said, Sister, what's the matter? With one look from my sister, Wei Hanzhou understood something. Zhang Ziluo said, fourth brother, come here and I'll tell you. Zhang Ziluo pulled fourth brother into the wooden house, then pointed to the sacks of food crops in the yard and the jars of salt and said, fourth brother, these are high-yielding crops. These two are potatoes and sweet potatoes. 1 acre of land can produce these two things with a yield of more than 1,000 kilograms. This crop has strong adaptability to the environment. And these are salts, enough for everyone to eat for a year or two. These are vegetables. I can teach you how to grow your own vegetables in the fields. These vegetables mature quickly. These are enoki mushrooms and leeks. Zhang Ziluo talked to her fourth brother little by little. Wei Hanzhou was so shocked that he didn't come back to his senses for a moment. To be precise, he suspected that he was hearing something and hallucinating. Just when Zhang Ziluo opened the jar and opened her mouth, she showed the salt to Wei Hanzhou. Only then did Wei Hanzhou realize that this was all true. Is it really salt? How important salt is to the tribe, Wei Hanzhou knows best. Not to mention there is so much salt. Wei Hanzhou tremblingly reached into the jar and took some salt, only to find that the salt was an extremely fine, good salt. Such salt is extremely expensive and cannot be compared with ordinary coarse salt. Sister, where did the salt come from? There are so many more things. Zhang Ziluo said, fourth brother, not only that, He-jin and I also discovered a large field today. The environment there is very good, and a lot of soybeans grow. There are hundreds of acres of land. If it is cleared, it can also be used as a field. Over there is water and the fields are fertile and suitable for growing crops. The weather here is hot and we can grow 2 crops of vegetables a year as long as we work hard. Everyone can have enough to eat, even if we don't hunt. What's more, there is no such thing as paying taxes in the tribe. It's just that after the tribesmen collected the grain, they also had to hand over part of it so that it could be used as a granary. It is also to prevent the tribe's warriors from being injured or without food, so that they can open a warehouse to eat the food. Then you need to use it to exchange for some necessities. Things like salt. Moreover, there are many fertile fields here and irrigation is convenient. It's just that Zhangzhiluo feels that it will be very hot here in summer. She lives in the north and may not be used to it here in the summer. Wei Hanzhou was so excited that his throat was clogged and he was speechless for a while. After a while, he said, "Sister, thank you. My sister has been in the tribe for a short time, but she has done so much for the tribe." He knew that his sister did all this for him. Although Wei Hanzhou didn't ask where these things came from, Zhangzhiluo briefly explained, "I just happened to find them in an abandoned cave, but that's all. The place where there are still soybeans is in the north of our tribe." Zhangzhiluo also told her 4th brother about the place. End of chapter.